Hey guys, this is Blessing. Good to have you all here. For those of you who are already logged in, thank you so much for being here. Hi, Blessing. I can see you're already waiting. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today I am going to be talking with Chauncy. I don't know how to pronounce that, if it's Chauncy or Chauncy. Yeah, I'm going to bring him right up. He's backstage. Let me see if that is the case. Hello.
How you doing? How you doing?
Oh, I don't think I can hear you very well.
Uh, what's the volume? Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
The volume.
Let me also try to share myself out.
I said you can hear you. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I think I can hear you a bit better. Hey, we have an extra guest. Hello guys, as you tune in this show, please give the video a thumbs up already and also share it so that we can have more people join in. Thank you all for being here. I'm quickly going to share myself out and then we can start. Okay. So, hello, Chauncy. How are you? For those of you who are watching who don't know who this is an international celebrity chef who goes by the name Chauncy. You're going to also introduce yourself to our viewers so that at least I think you can introduce yourself better than I can. So, just go ahead. Just do your thing.
How you guys doing? My name is Chef Chauncy. I'm from Liberia, and I've been cooking for almost 16 years now, and I have cooked for people like Obama, Steph Curry, Jay-Z, Beyonce, just and the name goes on and on. And yeah, so that's who I am.
Yeah, you sound so modest about it. You have cooked for the former president of the United States, Obama. Tell me how that went. What did you cook for him?
It was like a while back when I cooked for him, but so he was having a fundraiser in San Francisco, and he came up there and then needed a chef, and I guess I was like one of those lucky chefs, and I was one of the names on that list that it called on, and I got there, and I made him some fufu tacos and a couple other stuff that I like, these dishes that I made up. So it's not something that you can go look at fufu taco,
Okay.
what is it, and stuff like that. So yeah, I just made it up, and I was able to execute that for him.
Yeah.
And he loved it so much. And when he left, he actually wrote a story about me. So that also
really?
helped. It also helped me for a lot of people to notice me out there. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Did you meet him? Did you meet him in person?
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, when I was done and with like the meal, I went to go meet him, and they give me a hard time about it because I always been that chef that I don't wear like the chef hat and like the chef jacket. I have my hat face backwards, have my have my sweat shirts on,
Yeah.
and I'm like heading into like the VIP room, and the security guy stops me, and they're like, "Oh well, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm the chef." They were like, "No,
Yeah, I
you are
cooked
not
for
the chef."
him.
Yeah, so they had to like radio, like the other Secret Service in the kitchen to let him know that he's the chef. They were like, "Yeah, let him in." So once I got in, the president already knew everything about me before I even said like
Yeah.
introduce myself. And he was like, "Well, you have a speeding ticket. You got to pay it on," and blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh my god! Like, how do you know that?" I was like, "I forgot that I had a speeding ticket." So and he just knew my whole life story.
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there shocked and to meet him, but at the same time too is like I'm confused. Like, how did he know my whole life
I
story? But
know,
I
right?
forgot that he was
He's
a
very
president.
detailed. I know.
Yeah.
And did you take pictures with him? We're talking about Obama here. Did you take pictures?
I took pictures with the Secret Service, but everything happened so like fast that
Ah, I
I
can
couldn't
imagine.
get my phone because it was just like talking, introducing, shock at the same time, and it was just
Yeah,
fun.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So before we continue, let me quickly welcome those people who just dropped me comments. Faith Edo TV, thank you for being here. Vita, is it Vita or Vita? Vita Naturala TV, hello, hello. I'm glad you are here. Pretty Jade, hi, thank you for being here. Good evening. So apart from the president or former president of the United States, which other celebrities have you cooked for?
I had a chance to cook for Janet Jackson, Steph Curry, uh, uh, Bruno Mars, uh, Beyonce, Jay-Z,
Wow, can
Prince,
you imagine?
and I'm trying to think about some overseas celebrities I've cooked for.
Because I saw some Nigerian celebrities that you
Yeah,
also
yeah,
cooked
yeah.
for.
I, I cook for Bonham Boy. I cook for him. I cook for Kiss Daniel, and
Risky.
yeah, and Bonham Boy now. When I cook for him, he wasn't as now he have like all these Grammys, like awards and all this stuff, but he didn't like like he wasn't winning those at that time. But right now he's like one of the
He's,
major global stars now. Yeah.
I know, right? I know, I
And
know.
his mom is so nice. She's so nice. She's his manager too. So she was so nice, And
Mhm.
she was surprised. Like she was like, "Are you sure you're not a Nigerian? Are you sure you're not from the
What did you cook? What did you
Caribbean?"
cook?
I made him some jollof rice and
Ah,
some oxtail, oxtail with some beans and rice too, and they loved it so much. They loved it. Yeah.
okay. Okay, great. So it's really nice to catch up on all those people that you've worked with. Tell me about your cooking career. How did you even start to cook? And I also know you run a restaurant
Yes.
in Georgia.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me a bit about that?
So my I'll just go a little bit into my life story, just a little bit. So I grew up in Liberia, and
Mhm.
my mother was the one that used to. She's the one that taught me how to cook. And when I was a little boy, she used to tell me, say, "Son, act normal when you leave the house." And I was always confused, like what she mean by act normal when I leave the house. Getting to find out it wasn't cool for a boy to cook in Africa. It's a girl's job. That's the mindset. So I always realized that, oh well, that's how it was supposed to be. So
Mhm.
when I came into like the US, so my mom had to like transfer me to Ivory Coast to meet my father because and at that time we had a civil war. We had one of the major war back home, and it was so dangerous that my mom traveling on the road, and it was like all these obstacles in the way, like she got violated, she got sexually assaulted. It was so much for a single mom to travel with a 12-year-old boy traveling and to go to like the next country next door. So once I get there, I meet my father, and my father puts me on the bus to like eh, eh, and to actually head into the airport. And I tells my mom, "You cannot come." I'm like, what the heck? Like my mom went through all this all this like stuff to
Yeah.
just get me
To get
there.
it there.
And then
Mm-hmm.
now you are telling me that she can't come. And my mom started crying. I was also crying too. And so I come to like the United States, leaving my mom behind and all the
Did you come
memories.
with your dad or did you come
Yeah,
alone?
I came with my dad, with my other siblings. And I had this anger towards my father for a very long time because I didn't understand that he did not put my mom's name on the paper because he put all my siblings on the paper because I had like 8 brothers and sisters, and his job was to help his kids once they get older, they can help their mothers. That
Mm-hmm.
was his plan because it wouldn't have been fair if he would have bring my mom and don't bring their mom. So it was just too much for him. So he just brought us. So
Mm-hmm.
once I came to like the States and I go to school and kids just making fun out of me. I'm from Africa and I can't speak the language and like my skin color is a little bit darker
And
and
how long ago was this? When
this
was
was this was when I was 13 years old. So it was like 1990 something. It was like far back. But then so I'm getting in the fights, a lot of troubles, and the teacher saying this kid is bad, he's angry. I just came from a war-torn country, never had a chance to rehab, rehabilitation. I never saw a counselor. I never went through therapy, none of that stuff. I go straight into trying to have a normal life.
yeah,
Everything that I have seen with my mother, with like just
the horror she had to
yeah,
go
the
through?
horrible stuff. As a kid, or kids should never live through a life like that. Like I'm a kid seeing adult stuff back home, and it damaged me. So I'm going through all this stuff in like school, and the teachers are suspending me out of school because they're saying that I'm a bad kid. So I get this garden counselor comes to me. She said, "You know what? I will help you. I will put you in a program. It's a cooking program." I was like, "No, no, no. I don't want to go into like a cooking program." She was like, "Wow." I was like, "Kids are gonna make fun out of me, you know?" And she was like, "Don't worry about it. The door is like closed, and you don't have to worry about none of these kids. You're gonna learn how to cook. It's gonna be fun." I was like, "Okay." So I take the course. The first day in the classroom, the teacher showed us how to whisk the eggs. I'm in the classroom whisking the eggs, and it felt like it was an old chest box that been sitting down for like years that had dust all over it. And when I whisked the eggs, the check box just opened up with all these memories of my mother. I was like, oh
Mm,
my God. So all the things I used to do with my mother back home, I'm reliving those memories because I forgot about those memories. That's why I
yeah,
was so angry. So I started reliving those memories in the kitchen, cooking stuff.
yeah.
So the kids in the classroom was like, why is he laughing? Why is he talking and like himself? Because I was so happy that I didn't know who to share this happiness with.
Mm-hmm.
So uh I kind of found out that I was addicted to their memories, that I needed more memories. So when I graduated high school, my father sat me down and asked me what I wanted and like do. I told him that I wanted to be a chef. And my father, he from Africa, he got so mad. He was like, boy, this is a disgrace. I brought you to America and
To
sacrifice.
come and
And
cook.
yeah, you don't want to be a lawyer or doctor or
Yeah,
engineering or computer science. You want to be a
or
cook.
cook.
What's wrong with you? He's like, African uh parents are so proud about a last name. I'm like, this last name, I don't get it. If you so proud about this last name, why you didn't do something for the last name to make me live up to that last name, not me living up to your last name that you didn't do something to make that last name be powerful. And that's the pressure that you should have put on a lot of kids, and that's not right.
Yeah.
So
So
So my
Basically, you
father,
found comfort in cooking. It was
yeah,
therapeutical for you. But did you
yes.
also seek professional help?
In that time, I didn't, I didn't, and I guess all I really needed was that memory of my mother. It really did something and to me like calming down and just make me, just went back and to just living like the way how I used to live back home, like just like all the good times. So I never seek help, but just that right there just made me like, the end of the day, it was just all about me trying to get back to my mother.
Yes,
And
yes.
and I never once asked my father, how was my mother like? Or I don't have pictures of like her because everything it was just in my head. So I just used that to pursue like my career in that field, being a chef. So cooking is really wasn't what I wanted and to like do for the rest of my life, but I
hmm
was just so addicted to their memories that I just pursue that as my career, and that's how
Yes.
now I end up cooking.
All right. So, do you still have contact with your mom?
Oh yeah, so 2018 I went back home and I saw her for the first time. And I saw my mother, I saw my grandma, and it was like a dream
I
come
can
true.
imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my God. I have a whole documentary of it too. But she's
Okay.
my rock, she's my everything, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. And you just told briefly about everything that you saw as a kid, as a teenager. Do you think any of those incidences, occurrences have had any form of impact in who you are today?
I mean, sometimes I had chance and to really talk to uh, like a pastor about my situations, but I think a lot of kids from like a war-torn country that comes to like the U.S. or I travel to Australia or just like these European countries, like they don't really get the help that we that we like should get. And
But as an adult, you can
yeah,
actually speak for that help now.
yeah. But it's so much better when you actually get the help in that moment when you first, like when it's like still brand new, you know. But I've been talking to like a pastor now, and it just, and to play like catch up on
Yeah.
it. But and I think going forward too, like I want to be like a help towards stuff like that for
Yeah.
kids up in the future that might, come to like the United States because we all broken, the end of the
Yeah.
day, and we just need to be around the right people and just seek the right help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on, let me just quickly welcome a few people. I would like to welcome Iyobo TV, who is also part of my membership. Thank you for tuning in. I would like to welcome Faith Edo TV. I don't know if I already did. Esther Odia, hi, thank you for being here. And Bridget Asemota, thank you all so much for being here. All right, so you have your little kid there. You're babysitting today.
Yeah, I mean, it's just daddy duty, so she's spending time with me today. So
Yeah,
her
yeah.
name is
Uh,
Chelsea.
sorry, I didn't get that.
Her name is Chelsea.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. Well, I was also going to talk about, well, we all know a few people might know what happened a couple of months back, and that also relates to why I asked if maybe your childhood has any impact on who you are today as a man. And of course, in March, something happened with your ex. There were allegations, it went public, it went, it was quite crazy and it was quite serious. And I know that it must have affected you, affected your career, one way or the other. Would you like to talk us through that process, like what happened?
Yeah, the incident, what really happened on that day, I forgot the exact day everything happened. My ex, she used to drop the kids off at the restaurant because I had a stepdaughter with her too. I got a stepdaughter with her, and so it was two of them.
So
Chelsea.
you had a stepdaughter with her?
No, so when I met her, she already had a daughter.
Okay.
Plus mine made it two.
Okay.
So she used to drop them off at the restaurant, and then it was just so much on my plate because I had to manage the restaurant, cook the food, sometimes serve, and then watching kids at the same time. That's like too much, you know?
Okay, I'm going to be breaking you up every now and then so that we can really follow the story. So she was dropping the kids off at the restaurant. Was she working at the time? Why was she dropping off?
Because I guess she had other plans, and she won't really tell me what her plans are. But she just told me that she had to drop the kids off, and I was like, right now is not the time. And then she actually told me they were only spend 2 hours with you and will come and pick them up later on. I said, okay, 2 hours is not bad. I can do it. So I dropped them off, and then 2 hours comes, she's not there. 3 hours comes, she's not there. And the kids end up staying about maybe like 7 to 8 hours with me at the restaurant, and they didn't have enough diapers, they had enough food, and just all these other stuff that I was stressing out about. And I tried to call her phone, she wasn't picking up, and it just led to now I'm in this state of mind, like I don't know what is happening to her. Is she okay? Something happened. I'm mostly like worried than like mad.
Than angry. Yeah.
I'm just worried. Is she okay? So.
And had she done that before, or was that the first time she would just leave the kids with you and go off?
She had done it in a different way. Like I usually take them with me, and then she will come and like pick them up. But to wait that long, she never done that part before.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when after 8 hours of the kids being at the restaurant, I closed the restaurant down now. On my way home, one of my staff member tells me that she came at the restaurant after I left and I wasn't there. She got mad. And when she got mad, she came home. I'm like the complete opposite. And she is like me. Like she is mad and I'm not mad. So when she gets home, I asked her, I was like, what took you so long? She was like, don't worry about it. I was like, but you told me that you were going to pick the kids up. And then she was like, and then your kids too? Is exactly how she actually said it. So when she said it like that, I just didn't, like pay her no attention, and I just left it like that. And I went up in the kitchen because I had another Skype interview with my socks company. So I was doing the Skype thing with them. Hold on one second.
Yeah, maybe you should give us something to drink. All right, you guys. For those of you who are here, who are watching, please drop questions. Chauncy is here narrating to us what happened between himself and his ex-girlfriend. There was this very public news that he had allegedly assaulted her. And it was very, like I said, it was very public. It was ugly. The police was involved. So he's here to tell his own side of the story because we heard a lot from his ex, but we didn't hear so much from him. So we are getting his side at least to know how he saw things, at least from his own perspective. So if you guys have questions, please drop your comments and we are also going to treat them. So you can go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm at home. This whole time I have a witness in the house with us. And I'm in the kitchen on a Skype. And she comes in the kitchen, slamming the cupboard doors. I was like, you see me on the phone on Skype interview. She said, go outside and do your Skype. I was like, why would I want to do that? And it's late at night. So that was another thing that I just walked away from. And then I'm in the room. After my Skype stuff, I go in the room to play with my daughter watching TV. And she comes to me across from the bed. She said, give my daughter, I gotta change her. I was like, this is my daughter too, but don't worry, I'm gonna change her. And then she had like the wipes, and she threw the wipes at me. And then she came across the other side of the room to pull my daughter away from my arm, and I pull my daughter back, and I put her on the bed. When I put her on the bed, she jumped on my back. When she jumped on my back, that's when I shook her off, and she hit the ground, and her head hit the wall, and then she came back at me. When she came back, this is the honest truth. Like I grab her with her two hands and I put her on the bed, and I was like, stop, leave me alone, stop, leave me alone, stop. And while I was actually doing that, my arm right here was leaning on the side of her face, so it causes red eye because I pressed on like her. That's what happened. And I left her there. I took my daughter and gave my daughter to the witness that was there. I was like, take my daughter and I'm going outside. So when I went outside for like a walk, that's when she went in the bathroom. I don't know what she did. That's what the witness told me now. She went in the bathroom. I don't know what she did. And she called. She called 911. When she called 911, the police came, and the police asked her, would you like to press charges against this guy? She said no. They said, would you like to put a restraining order against him? She said no. They said, would you like to go downstairs in the ambulance so you can go get checkup? Because they're going to take her to the hospital to go get checkup. She said no. The police officer gave his card to her, saying that if you change your mind, you can always call us on this number. We're going to assist you in a way possible. That's what my witness told me. So she left. So the police officer left. The whole crew, firefighters, ambulance, everybody left. And after they left, the same...
Were you there when they came?
No, at that time, I went for like a walk. We remember now. I'm not there. Everything that I'm actually saying to you, it was from the witness. Yeah. So when they left, she go and set up a GoFundMe page for 7,000 some more dollars GoFundMe page. She set that up, and that's when she took a picture of her face, and she, I guess, attached it to like the GoFundMe page, and then people started pouring in donation and all that stuff.
And how long after the incident did she do the GoFundMe thingy? Like how many days later?
It wasn't a day later, the same night.
The same night.
The same night.
But did you both continue to stay in the same place, in the same home?
Nah, so she was in the house that I was paying for, but the lease was in her name.
Yeah.
So I left to be the bigger person about it. You know, I literally I left with a backpack, my flip flops, a pants, and a shirt on, and that's it. I didn't pack nothing. I just walked and went, and that was it. I never came back to the house till the matter was settled the right way. I wanted to get a court order from the court saying I can come back to my house to grab my stuff. That's the only way I was going to come back. But I never came back to that house when I left that night.
Yes. Okay,
And
so just give me a second. I'm going to quickly get rid of that sound. All right. I apologize for that. So there were also reports that you had to turn yourself into the police. How does that really?
so the only reason why I actually did that, because it was when I left. The next thing I looked, the internet just went crazy. The police is looking for him. He is on the run and stuff. I was like, oh, the run. I'm not on the run. I did the right thing that anybody will ever do. You walk away from the situation before it gets worse, and that's what I did. And I wasn't gonna return back to the same house, because if I would have returned back to it, people would have been like, oh, he came back again to like hit her. He came back for the. I didn't want to deal with that, so I just left. And then when I left, I went to the station too to go and file my report too. The same way how she did hers, I went there to do mine. You know, so now I have papers, I have records. She have papers, she have records on her own. I have mine too, and that's what I did.
Yeah, so we have a question here, and that has to do with like the injury she had on her face, because we know she had a red eye, and she also had some bruises, I believe, around her face. How did she come about those?
So when all this stuff was happening, remember, she already had her makeup on her face. And when we were doing that little thing, now the makeup was like rubbing off in a way that it made her face look like it was like crazy. But it really wasn't. Half of that was mixed into like the makeup. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Okay. And what actually makes this whole story quite serious is because she said,
you want to take her?
Yeah. So what makes the whole story quite alarming also is because she showed screenshots and proof that that wasn't the first time you had laid hands on her. She showed conversations between herself and your mom,
yeah,
allegedly.
So the situation, yeah, in every relationship, I don't care who you are, or you know, you can be behind closed door, or people don't really know you like that. In every relationship is a disagreement in every relationship. And yeah, we will argue, we will I go back and forward, and it came a time, you know, like it never got and to like the point like cops was like
No.
called.
But
And
did you ever get physical with her? Did you both ever get physical before that day?
we both have, yes, yes, we both have, but it wasn't, and to the point like we were actually fighting. We got physical. She have like hit me, and I walked away,
And
and
did you
you
hit
know,
her? Was there any time that you hit her back?
it was just like everything that me and her have been through was just like struck like argument, like not physical fighting, not like, oh, I'm gonna punch you. No, it was like stop, 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 like stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it never got into a situation like, oh, I'm gonna leave, you know. But
Yeah.
this
So
one,
what do you think made that last fight the one that broke the camel's back? Why do you think she even took it to the public? What was so serious or different about this one?
this I think what it was the situation with just because at that time she just came from traveling and she just got back from Puerto Rico, and she went out there, she had a great time, and and I didn't have a problem with that. Why she was gone, I was watching the kids, and she came back, and her whole attitude, whole demeanor just changed, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And kind of find out that she was seeing somebody else, but I didn't know that till last minute, till late.
When is late? Like before the last incident?
Late when all this stuff happened. That's when I found out. Yeah.
I mean, did you find out before this altercation?
No, I didn't find out.
Or you found out after?
Yeah, I found out after. So
Okay.
yeah, and I guess maybe it was a way to not make the other person feel like guilty, or I am done with this, and
Yeah.
I want to start something new, but how can I end it?
Yeah. And did you guys have that conversation? I mean, after you left the house that night, did you guys maybe talk? Did you end the relationship officially? Did she break up? Did you break up? What happened?
First of all, when all that stuff happened, I didn't talk to her for maybe a couple of like weeks, like 3 weeks. She
Mm-hmm.
blocked me, didn't talk to her. So all I was dealing with is my lawyer, the police that came over to the house, and I was at my friend's house with no clothes, nothing, because we remember that I left all my clothes there. I left all my information, my driver license, my ID, my social security card. I left everything
Right.
at the house. I didn't plan on leaving. I didn't plan on like
Yeah.
packing, like, oh, I'm gonna, like it just happened. And when I left, she had access to all my stuff.
Yeah.
But me being a man, I said, let me stay away and let the law deal with it. I didn't go on social media to try to talk about it, because in America, they have a system. They have a system for a reason. When you do something to somebody, you're not guilty till you
Yeah.
go to court and you prove you guilty. But
Yeah.
automatically, people automatically assume that, oh, this guy is guilty. He beating his wife. He beating like his girlfriend. He should get locked up. By who? Who's
Yeah.
making that judgment? You as a person making that judgment instead of the law making it. So that's the part that really confused me. Like, we just quit the jump to try
Yeah.
to lay a law on somebody that we're not letting the system deal with it. The system is there for a reason. She didn't go through the system. I went with the system. You see, she went
Yeah.
on social media. I went with the system. That's why I wasn't on social media telling my side of the story
Yeah,
because
but of course, you know that people are naturally going to be sentimental. I mean, seeing those pictures,
yes,
everyone and anyone would not be able to imagine or assume that she inflicted those injuries upon herself. So it's quite understandable to know that, okay, some people are actually out there that will believe her side of the story, that she wants to move on.
and
But at what point did you reconnect? At what point did you maybe call her? Or
when
I
we
want to know
connect,
what the first conversation between the both of you was like.
when we connect, uh, so when she put up the GoFundMe page, she told people that she was leaving. She was like getting out of the house to go back to Minnesota because that's where she's originally from. I brought them to Atlanta because when I was in the process of like opening the restaurant, I brought him here. So
Right.
be with me to the restaurant, hoping that maybe Atlanta will be like a new place for me to raise my family at. So she received the money. I think she received about like $4,000 or $5,000. It wasn't like the amount that she wanted. I don't know why she wanted exact $7,000, but
Okay.
she received a little bit, and then
Okay.
she said that she was going to move back to Minnesota because she wanted to break her lease. She ended
Mm-hmm.
up not moving back to Minnesota. She ended up staying here, and then she sent me a text saying that, oh, I need help with I need some money to pay the lease rent.
Oh, she sent you a message.
Yeah, and I didn't argue with it. I just went ahead and sent it now. And then,
How
but
much? How much money was it?
but before that, she went to Minnesota for like 2 days. She came back, and then she ended up staying in the same house, and then she moved. When she moved out, I guess she had to break that lease, and she needed some money to like break the lease. But what about the GoFundMe page that people already gave her money
Yeah.
for?
So how much money did she tell you that she needed?
uh she it was $800.
And did you give it to her immediately? What did you say? I mean, that was her first message to you after the altercation.
So the the thing about it, I didn't give it to her. She went in my account and she took it because
She asked you first, though. She sent you a message and asked you, and
yeah,
what was your response?
I guess I took forever to respond back. So she went ahead and she took it.
Okay. She
Yeah,
didn't wait for your response.
yeah. And a lot of people they were like, why you guys have an account together and all this stuff. But when you in a relationship for that long and you have a child with this person, it gotta be a trust there too. And you don't
Yeah.
have to be married to have an account. You don't have to be married to do
Mm-hmm.
certain things.
Okay. So at what point did you both have that conversation of we are done with each other?
We had that when is I think when she put out the last video about me, I don't I don't make money or I don't have a job. I am broke, and she started showing all these receipts, and then so when all that stuff was happening, I called her and I was like, "Why are you doing this?" Because
That was before she asked for money.
yeah, before.
Okay, so you called her first.
No, I couldn't call her now. We remember she blocked me, so she the one that have access to
Yeah,
me. I cannot get in like touch with
yeah.
her.
So after she put out the video, you contacted her. How did that go?
She put out the first video and hit her up on social media,
Okay.
And then she called me back from a different number,
Okay.
and she said that uh, it would be hard for us to to make this work, but let's just co-parent. I said that's all I want to do, just co-parent for the both of us to raise our daughter, because everything that have been done, not once I went on uh, social media to
Yeah.
discredit you or to bash you or
Hmm.
to say hurtful, meaningful things about you, because my daughter, she's gonna grow up one day, and
Yeah. And she's
whoever
gonna see those
out
things,
there,
and
she's gonna see that, and I don't want nobody. I don't want her looking at her mom like this. Me being like a man, I can deal with what you have already done to me.
yeah.
It's going to take years for me and to fix that, but at least, sometimes being a man, that's the things that we have to deal
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, and I was also of the opinion, because I did a video about your story with Samara, and I said that I don't think, or I didn't think then, that it was the best thing for her to do, to go public and say all those things that she was saying about the father of her kids. I thought you were the father of both kids, but now I understand that you're the father of one of her kids.
Yeah.
So this is actually okay. So that was the point at which you both decided we are gonna go our separate ways, and you are now co-parenting. Everything is all right between the both of you.
Oh yeah, it's like everything is so good to the point that you, we go out. We go on. We take our daughter out. Go on. It's not really like me and her back together, but we go on dates for our daughter. We go to ice cream shop, go to the mall, shop for my daughter,
Yeah.
and I cannot post this. I
No,
cannot
I do
talk about
understand.
it. I cannot post it, and she can never post it because it will look so bad on her in a way. Like every time when me and her out, she put her phone down.
Mhm.
Because is the word people out there don't want to mentally accept that. How can this guy be this horrible and still going and you hanging out with him? Look at just now, who is here with me? It's my daughter. If I did all those things that people said I did, if I bashed my ex face in and put a gun into her head and do all this stuff, you think I would be here right now talking to you or have my
Do
daughter?
you have a gun?
You know what I mean? No, I don't have a gun.
But she said that you have a gun, and that's why she was afraid of her life.
Yeah, and it's a lot of stuff that she literally said in that moment. You see,
Well, okay, but
she
she did say so. She said
and
so.
she also said too, I was on the run from the police and they were looking for me, and that's why I went to the police station and I made that
Hello.
video of me at the police station talking to the officer right there, and I
Yeah.
didn't get arrested. I didn't.
Right. So,
So
in other words, she actually said, according to you now, she allegedly said things that were quite untrue. Has
untrue.
she ever apologized to you for those things that she said that are not true?
She she actually did, but it was in a different way. Like apologizing, maybe calling me up, picking me up, going out with my daughter, going to like restaurants, eating. I look at that as apologies than just saying
Yes.
I am
But,
I am sorry, and
yeah, but didn't you take a minute to even ask her why she lied about the fact that you have a gun? Why would she come up with that? Didn't you even feel the need to ask her that?
is I wanted to, but I didn't want it into like open something that already been closed. But one of the reasons why too I decided to have this interview done with with you is, yeah, I have moved on. with my life. My restaurant is like doing good. I mean, a lot of people have that show up, show me love, and it's so much have happened. I'm in the process of trying to open a school back home, but then it's like this image is always going to be next to me as
Yeah.
this guy that beat his girlfriend, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and me trying and like teach little kids in Africa about just helping them out. That's not the image that I want those kids to one day grow up and see as, oh, this is the guy that opened a school for us. This is the guy that helped us. This is
Yeah.
what he, he actually do. And a
Yeah,
lot of people,
I'm gonna read some comments. I'm gonna take some questions now from the viewers. But before we do that, I'll just like to ask you what you have learned from what happened in your past relationship.
I have learned a lot. I have learned, like, when you in a relationship with anybody out there, get involved in it a lot more, because a lot of the time I was so busy working at the restaurant that she was out there doing whatever she was doing. I wasn't involved in it. I wasn't, we wasn't spending time together. We wasn't going out. So she had a lot of free time to do whatever to make her mind on, which path she want to go at and all that other stuff. So, just get involved into your relationship a lot more and be aware of
Mm-hmm.
just what goes on. Give her
Yeah.
something else, man, like a fruit or something, or a banana.
So on your part, you're saying you should have been there more
Yeah,
often
yeah,
than you were. But
yeah.
I was hoping, somehow, I was hoping that you'd say something in the direction of I have learned not to be physical if I'm in a relationship. I was hoping you'd touch on that, like, okay, I was in a toxic relationship. We were both physical with each other. We were violent with each other. At least you've been honest about that. But it's not part of your lessons learned.
No, I mean, like, what if I can give an advice out there and to anybody out there, just when you in a relationship with anybody, you, you can you can you can sense if it's going in a bad direction. If it is, you just get out early, and you don't let your anger get the best of you, and you don't let other people get the best of you too. So you do what you have to do for yourself and walk away from the situation, because maybe if from the moment that she actually got into the house, if I would have walked away because I knew that something was going to happen on that night because of all the stuff that led on into that moment. If I would have just
Mhm.
walked away, I probably would have prevented that from happening.
Yeah,
So, yeah, is I think about that every day. But then the splitting up for the both of us, I think it was the best thing that happened for us to split up, because imagine trying to raise these beautiful queens in a relationship like that. It would have been toxic for them, and how we gonna teach our daughter the way of like life, and we here doing the opposite of it, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
What I would say, after having listened to everything you just said, is one thing you should take away from this, if nothing at all, is apart from walking away when you sense something is about to happen, also learn as a man, you're an African man, I'm African, learn that you don't get physical with a woman no matter what.
definitely,
You pinning her down to suppress her, to do whatsoever, it's like already an invitation for problem. So
yeah,
if she's getting on you, just ignore her, push her away, or just walk out of the house. And if you know that it keeps happening in your relationship, then you know that that relationship is not right for you. Then you know it's time to split. You don't have to stay in a toxic relationship, because at the end of the day, you're hurting someone and you're hurting yourself. If that makes sense. I don't know if I'm
Yes, yes,
communicating.
yes, yes,
So I would give you some blame as the man. You are that male figure, so you kind of like overpowered her. She's not stronger than you, so you pinning her down was already, I don't
that's
want
a
to push
red
it
flag.
further than that, but I believe you can understand a bit of what I'm saying.
Yes.
And another thing that I would like to mention, of course, there are also I don't know if there are rumors or facts that you were married before um,
Yeah,
Samaria.
I was married, and I was I was married, and I got divorced when I met Samara, and me and my ex-wife had such a good relationship to the point that when I opened my first restaurant in Minnesota, she came down and she helped me out in the kitchen washing dishes and serving while Samara was also at the restaurant working with me. And this lady reached out her hands to Samara. Hi, my name is so and so, so and so. And then the first thing Samara did was, why is she here? Why is she helping you? And this lady knew about Samara, and Samara knows about her. It was no conflict, and to the point like I'm seeing her on the side. She just
Yeah,
came
but
down.
Samara should have been aware
She
that
was aware that she was
she was
actually
coming.
coming down. Yes.
So why was she still asking
She
what she's
didn't
doing
know
if she was
that
aware?
she was going to come down to be washing dishes. She just thought that she was going to come down and just eat at the grand opening. But she literally came down, rolled her sleeves up, and got up in the dish pit and started washing dishes, taking out the trash, and I guess it didn't set okay with her.
Okay. And you just mentioned that you met Samaria after you left your ex-wife, but I also see one or two, someone, not one or two people, someone say that you allegedly cheated on your ex-wife with Samaria.
So when the relationship with me and my ex-wife started, when I left, it wasn't like I didn't make it public to anybody. So it's like, you know how sometimes when like, hold on one second. So the situation was, I controlled everything. So when I left my ex-wife, started dating Samara, nobody knew about it. So everybody already knew that, or I'll probably stay with my ex-wife. So I
So you
did
were already divorced.
already divorced at that time. So I kind of control the situation, like how my story got out. So when the story got out with me and Samara, it already been like three to into like 4 months before that story got out. So people already they were they were already behind, and they were just
And
playing
did your ex-wife confront you about Samaria at any point?
which like she knew about her. Like when I started dating Samara, I called my ex-wife and I told her about it. At, at that time, me and her already separated. I left the state. I was in Minnesota, and my ex-wife was in California. So she already knew that it was over. I packed my stuff, everything, and even when me and Samara was like dating, my ex-wife used to talk to us, talk to me on the phone, like, how you doing, how you settling in, and I will have it on speaker, and Samara and would be next to me. So it just uh when like people hear the news, it's like it's very confusing. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this guy was with this lady, and then now like it's a gap, and like between that, and then the next thing is we see a picture with him, Samara. When it comes to like my life, like it's hard to have a private life, but the truth about my life, like I don't really put it out there so much. So people just
Yeah.
play around with what they want to believe or what they're
Okay.
saying.
So what is the story your ex-wife is telling? What is she saying? Has she ever said that Simera is the reason you separated?
She only said Samara is very rude, very disrespectful, and
But she's not blaming her
she's
for
not
being the
been.
one.
No, no, it wasn't Samara's fault. Yeah, she didn't have nothing to do with what
And
happened.
is your ex-wife Ciara? Is that her name?
No, my ex. No, she's not. She's not Samara.
No,
Sierra.
I mean Ciara. Ciara.
Yeah,
There's this lady who goes by the name Ciara. You know her? She's also your ex?
nah, yeah, she's my ex, but she's not my ex-wife.
Yes.
My
Because
ex-wife is her name is Charisse.
sorry?
Charisse.
Charisse.
Yeah, that's my ex-wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Charisse also has that story that she experienced what Cimeria claims you did to her. Charisse or
No, it
Ciara,
was
I'll just stick to Ciara because that is the
no.
name that I
So
got.
Sierra is the one that experienced that. It wasn't Charisse. Charisse is my ex-wife that I just left recently and then I started dating Samara.
Okay,
But
right. Now I get it. Okay,
yeah,
so about Ciara,
so
we got the news or also the
when I left,
allegation.
yeah, when I left Samara, when I left Sierra, that's when I started dating my ex-wife. And then after I left my ex-wife, I went to Samira. If that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
do understand. So you had a child with Ciara who passed.
Yeah, yeah. So the child, it was a very sensitive thing, and that's one of those things that a lot of people that knows about me don't up to now don't even say know that, oh, this guy had a child and his child died, and it's a different thing for like a parent to bury their
Yeah.
child than the child having to bury like the parents. So it was very emotional. It was very sensitive. So those are one of the things that I don't like to uh, talk about. But me and Sierra had a very very toxic relationship. It was worse than Samara's. It was very worse. Like it was the relationships started with her being pregnant and the doctor is like telling her not to lift heavy stuff. And I'm telling her about it, what the doctor know. This girl she she from Puerto Rico, and she was like, what the doctor know, back home, uh, mothers that's like pregnant, they do this, they do that, and when we went to like the hospital, the child was like born, and he only lived for like a couple of hours, and he died. And when I lost my son, we just started playing like the blame game. It's your fault. She said it's my fault. I'm stressing her out. I'm saying it's your fault. You should have listened. And the relationship just got crazy, got toxic. And she used to come over to like the job and tell everybody, "Oh, this is my man. Don't mess with him." Sometimes when she's like mad, she will pull sand up in my gas tank, just crazy stuff. It was crazy. I don't know. I guess sometimes I just attract like the opposite of
Yeah.
who I am. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but quite. I have to first of all say that I am sorry about the loss of that child. May his soul Was it a boy?
It was a boy, yeah.
May he still continue to rest with our Lord. However, this seems to sound like a case of repetition, like you already have that history with Ciara, and according to the news, Ciara is also claiming that you you were violent with her and that you allegedly stole from her and you also stole allegedly from her family. So it's not really looking good for you, if I can say that,
Yeah.
because Ciara is saying this thing and Simera is also saying something similar. So why is it happening to you? Why you?
Because Sierra situation is it came a time that because when I met Sierra, I was I was I was just now getting in my prime of who is Chef Chauncey, trying to find me. I wasn't Chef Chauncey, and you are talking about uh, after high school, 4 years later, I met this woman. You know what I'm saying? So, I was me and her was at the club
You
smoking
were
weed.
young.
Yeah, young. So yes, it's like we were it was crazy. It wasn't
Yeah.
decision making like, oh, we were kids. So if you're gonna say I stole, I mean, she had to be specific on what did I steal,
Did
because
you steal anything at all?
I don't steal nothing, and I don't know what is she talking about, because me and her we used to we used to go to house parties, for God's sake, house parties. Who go to house parties these days? High school house parties, stuff like that. Like that's the relationship that we are talking about here.
Yeah.
This is not,
Okay.
like
So
relevant
you
to.
were immature, you guys
Yeah,
were like high school
yeah. So
lovers
I
and
don't
all of
think
that.
I don't think anybody should should bring that up as this is who this person is, because if you look at, it's a big gap between that. Now, if you want to compare stuff with my ex-wife, because she's the one that I was with for almost 9 years, you
And
know,
how was that with her? Was there any case of violence?
relationship was great. We went to Africa together. I took her back home. She saw my mother, and she saw Africa for like the first time. She ate the food, loved it. I mean, it was like great.
And why did you break up if everything was just so rosy and so good?
It was personal reasons, but it didn't have nothing to deal with cheating or domestic violence or nothing like that. It was so personal to the and to the point, like we both understand, like, okay, let's do this. If it meant to be, we'll come back together to make it work.
Yeah. I
But
can
that
imagine that that might be a bit difficult for people to understand because when people break up these days, it either has to do with domestic violence, with cheating, or with
yeah,
finances, or stuff like that. Like,
it,
I
it,
don't think
it,
there's anything new under the sun. So I
it
wonder
was,
what it would have been
the end of the day, like,
outside of this.
she's a doctor. She's a ophthalmologist, very smart woman. And in that time frame, I was the chef at Facebook headquarters. So I was also bringing in, not as much as she was bringing in, but I wasn't struggling. She wasn't struggling. We were traveling, going to Africa, stuff like that, And she was probably like 6 years older than me. So I looked at her as, we were both learning from each other, helping each other out, and not once we got physical or violent
Okay.
with each other. And the decision that we have to make, she understand what that was, and I
Mhm.
under, under, understood that. But I never went public to let people know why I left my ex-wife. So
Right.
you automatically assume that, oh, he probably cheated, oh, he probably hit her. But people will always assume stuff like that, and especially if you don't give them what they want to know,
Yeah.
then they seem to add their own stuff to it. But
Right.
if you're gonna go from a girl that I dated my after high school 2 years later, judging me off of that to my kid's mom now, then it's a big gap to what's the point?
Yeah. It might look like a big gap, but it still counts. I mean, you guys were maybe young, but you were also matured enough to become parents because you both had a baby.
Yeah.
So it would count one way or the other. Like it's still part of who you are. And the fact that something happened again with a recent ex would also always bring up old, stories that relate to violence and stuff like that. But are you in a relationship right now? Are you seeing anybody?
I'm not gonna comment to that.
All right, you don't have to. You don't
No,
have to. But if you are in a relationship right
I'm
now,
not.
or if
Yeah.
you plan to ever go into any relationship, what do you think you're going to do differently apart from spending more time? How are you going to treat toxicity in your relationship? What are the things that you are actively going to do to avoid or to prevent those things that you experienced in the past from repeating themselves again?
What what I can say is right now I'm seeking help. I've been talking to like I have a close friend of mine. He's like a pastor, and sometimes in order for you to jump into a situation, like you really have to ask yourself, is this what you want? And you really got to prepare yourself for what may come, and you don't want to keep bringing out past our situations
Yeah.
and and living that. So
Yeah.
I have to work on myself a lot more.
And
Uh,
what exactly do you have to do to yourself?
it just I have to like learn how to just like uh respect females a lot more, and just listen to them, and just like if the situation is not right, just exit out. And me having a daughter, it really opened a lot for me as a man, because if I can love her and show her the kindness, and just know that it's men out there that gonna love you like the same way how your father loves you, and I think I'm on the right track of
Yeah.
trying to be a better version of myself. And
Yes.
that's what I want to do, is just be a better version of like myself. Like I don't want to be 100%, because it's very hard for anybody to be 100% of the self. But I just want to be a better version for myself and for my daughter. And if I love her the way how I want to love anybody else, that love will come from her, and she's been helping me out. She's like my inspiration every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said so. I'm glad you said that you are willing to work on yourself, and you have learned your lessons, and hopefully everything that has happened in the past never repeat themselves anymore, like in your life going forward. It is essential that you realize that you had a role to play in all those things that might have happened, and you have you have a daughter for yourself, and the things that she see are also going to influence who she becomes as a woman. There are certain things that she shouldn't have to experience her father do to another woman, if that makes sense. So you are also impacting her in a way, and also, so I'm so very glad that at least you are going to take that along when you're going into a new relationship, to know that women have to be respected. There's violence with a woman, and hopefully things work out fine for you. So, well, I think we've told a lot about, your relationships and all of that. But I would also like to talk a bit about the projects that you're working on, because I know that you're now building a school, or you're trying to raise funds to build a school in Liberia. How is that going?
So, when I went back home to Africa in 2018, I realized that it was a lack of education when it comes to how we prepare our food. Our food is very rich, it's very good, it tastes good, but the healthy part of it is lacking. We overcook everything, and we all eat meat, but is and Africa is rich with vegetables and fruits and stuff like that, but we don't really, put that into our daily diet all the time. We always, some reason, we just it's just a stereotype of all Africans eat meat, and that's not true. So I just want to, create like this school to really educate them on the nutrition facts, the safety of like food, preparing it like the right way, and just stuff like that. So I've been working on this school for like 5 years. So all throughout like my career, I've been like saving money, sending it back home, went there, saw the project, picked the land, and the school is already built, everything, and
Oh, it's already built.
yeah, it's already built. It wouldn't have been the best thing to open the school now during COVID, because that's not sending the right message out there, So next year, hopefully, COVID dies down a little bit, and I'm just gonna go there and cut the ribbon. But everything is already set. The GoFundMe page I kind of set up. It's just mostly for like books and like pencils and notepads back and stuff like that. But
Do you have students already? Do you have people who have enrolled?
nah. So when I go back, right now we are doing like the enrollments of we we actually built like a text kit that kids will have to take a take a test so they can get qualified to be a member of this school.
Right.
The little booklet stuff for like setting questions in it, and and based off of that, we're gonna pick and choose on who will be qualified to.
Yeah.
But
And how many students can your school take?
the school, and well, actually, it takes about like 60 students. That's it. It's just 60 just to start with. But it's like mostly on like, it's like a hands-on cooking, maybe a little bit of classroom work, but mostly is
Oh, I think I lost Chauncy. I don't know what happened. Can you guys still hear me? If you hear me, please say yes, 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 so that I know that the problem is not from me. Can you guys hear me? Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? If no one hears me, then I'm just going to have to log out of here. I don't know if I lost him or he lost me. So let me know if anyone hears me. Yes. Okay. So I think the problem is from Chauncy. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you can hear me. So I think we lost him. Let me see. I hope he can join again. Okay. So I think we might just have to end it right here. I don't know if he's still going to rejoin, but I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank you for your comments and your contributions. And if you all still have some questions or some things that you feel like you're not satisfied about, please do not hesitate. Drop your comments, and I am still going to try to address your questions. I see someone here say he has no money. Even Maria said so. What money is he sending there? It's unfortunate he's not here to answer that for himself, but I do understand that he runs a restaurant. So yeah, so we lost him. So I'm sorry, I can't get an answer to that question. So for now, I am just going to say thank you all. He's not going to come back. I was really hoping to ask him about the restaurant in Georgia, how that is going, but maybe another time if I get to invite him again. But if you guys want to ask other questions, please feel free. I have his contact. We can always find a way to maybe do another live stream or just do a separate video and talk about some of your concerns and questions. So like I said, I appreciate you all for being here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet and you'd like to maybe watch other interviews and other videos that I create, do not hesitate also to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. He owns no restaurant. He's just a chef there. Yeah, well, like I said, he's not here to answer those questions, but I looked up his Instagram page and it clearly states that he owns the restaurant. And I personally don't think anyone would publicly lie. I might be wrong, but I don't believe anyone would lie on Instagram and claim to be the owner of something they're not the owner of. I mean, the owner, if he's not the owner, then the owner should be able to ask him, like, why are you calling yourself the owner? If you understand what I mean. So I would have really loved to ask him that question. And yeah, so yes, Megan, thank you. Thank you for being here. Subscribe. I believe that's all for now, and I will just see you guys on my next one. Bye.